Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is another day in the Pill Method Club, and today is the what? This is episode 21. Can you believe that? Episode 21, Mr. Jared. This is episode 21 that we are doing live today. How to pay off mortgages in 7 years. Mr. Jared, how are you this morning? All right, you're kind of muffled there, but that's okay. Your phone has not had its coffee this morning, I can tell. But you are arranging the stage as you're doing this. Listen, we're
Hey
going.
Don, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine now, sir.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. I was connected to a Bluetooth.
Okay, all right.
But good morning. Excited to be here and
Good
excited for
morning.
All right, listen, we're going to have some. Listen, Jared, I think I see some hands raised down there already this morning. I'm excited to find out what questions that we have. And folks, if you are live streaming, if you're on I'm sorry, if you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, um, uh, YouTube, um, uh, Twitter. Start inviting your friends into the live stream right now because I have just got a feeling that we're going to have a master class in not only listen. We got people in Miami. We went down for the Get Access tour, and Miami is such an engaging place. And who knew? Listen, you never take anything for granted. There's so much building going on in Miami. You would think, are there any good deals still left in Miami? And it's a good thing. I'm not trying to figure all that out. Not being a real estate, what is it? A realtor. I'm not a realtor, but somebody who has the eye for it can find out that there are deals even in Miami. And some of our people have just hung over in Miami just to be able to pick up some of these deals. And not only that, learn how to save on the interest on those deals. This is a phenomenal place to be. Jared, will you go ahead and listen, take over and do your thing as moderator for us this morning, sir?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the best room, best club on Clubhouse. This is the Pill Method, how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. So you thought you had a 30-year mortgage, you have to wait 30 years, well, you thought wrong. With the Pill Method, you can pay that off between 7 to 10 years using a strategy to save on interest cost and turn that interest cost into your kids' inheritance and create generational wealth. So what I'd like you to do is go to the greenhouse at the top if you're on Clubhouse. Make sure you're following the club. And then also while you click that greenhouse and you follow the club, go down to the About section and read up on what the Pill Method stands for and what you can get out of this room today. So we want you to come on stage, raise your hands if you have a refinance, if you have a mortgage, which everybody in here probably does, if you have student loans, which everybody does, if you have car loans, if you have credit card debt, come on stage, ask your questions. We're going to answer them in detail, or Don's going to answer them in detail. And you're going to come away from it with a better strategy for 2022. And not only that, you're going to help everybody else in the audience understand what the Pill Method is and what's possible. Also, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you are on those platforms watching this right now, make sure to ask questions in the chat. If you ask questions, our man Kirk is going to see what questions are being asked and let us know. And Don will go through your questions as well. All right. And if you're in the audience on Clubhouse, and if you're near a laptop or iPad or your desktop, you can go to those devices, type in ice10klive.com, like the link that's above my head. All right. You can stay within Clubhouse, but you can also watch the live stream where Don's going to actually be pulling out calculators, charts, amortization schedules, and you'll also be able to see his pearly whites as well as Kirk's. So definitely make sure that if you have the opportunity to be next to a laptop, iPad or desktop, use that resource wisely. Watch it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. That way you can take the information in even better. All right. And last but not least, whatever platform you're on, whether it's Clubhouse or the four that I mentioned, click that plus on or click the share option. Invite as many people in the room as possible. They're going to really thank you for giving them this opportunity to understand the P.I.L.L method, opening their eyes to interest cost versus interest rate, which will save them a ton of money. And it is such an important thing that we do not hold on to this for ourselves. And we share it with as many people as possible. For click that plus sign, click the share option, and let people know about what's going on in this room. So with that being said, we're going to go through introductions. But before we do, Don, please let everybody know, what is the P.I.L.L method and what are they going to be able to get out of today's room?
Listen, thank you for everyone for being here today. My name is Don Daniel, and I'm your interest cancellation expert, or ICE for short. If you want to know anything about us, you go to ICE10KLive.com, and then you can start searching from there. A lot of our information is going to be there. We're going to be referring to that a lot today. So what we're doing with the P.I.L.L method, P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Understanding these four banking principles, you will be able to get the foundation of the idea of interest cancellation. Now, why is interest cancellation important? For this year, since 1934, this is the 88th anniversary of amortizing 30-year mortgages. And because it's the way it's been taught for the last 88 years, people have been paying 75% more interest than they need to. And what we're here to do is tell you the truth about how loans really work. And we're also here to tell you, people have been saving money on interest for years. They've been paying off loans early for years. What we're here to do is to tell you that you can optimize your interest savings and optimize your time savings by using technology. This fintech that we talk about here in our P.I.L.L Method Club, it is the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt reduction system on the planet. Can you do it by yourself? You most certainly can. Can you beat this computer doing it? You most certainly cannot. All right. People who have been trying this on their own have saved themselves a ton of money, but they've left even more money on the table because they have not optimized. So if you want to optimize your savings, you're in the right place. If you want to optimize your earnings with those savings, you're in the right place. And so if you want to learn the truth about how lending really works and how you can make it work for you, Jared, these folks are in the right place this morning, and I'm excited to get started. Back to you, sir.
Awesome. I'm excited to get started as well. So yeah, let's get into the content as soon as possible. So what we're going to do is do 30-second introductions real quick, let people know who you are and how they can get in touch with you. And then from there, we're going to have Satira ask a question that's going to help everybody in the audience understand what the P.I.L.L method is. So again, if you're in the audience on Clubhouse, please raise your hand now. This room goes for about 2 hours. It never fails. In the last 30 minutes, we'll have like 5 to 7 hands raised, because when they realize how Don's information can actually save them money, everybody wants to come on stage. So click the greenhouse, read the description of what the P.I.L.L method is. Once you read it and you realize what kind of questions you're going to ask about car loans, student loans, your mortgage, your credit card debt, etc., come on stage, ask a question. There are no dumb questions. And Satira, we are looking forward to answering your question ASAP. So real quickly, my name is Jared Albert, and I've been in the tech space for over 15 years. My passion is generational wealth building, whether it's in tech, whether it's in helping your startup get funded, or whether it's helping you through rooms like this. So check out the rooms on replays. Also, you can check me out at jarrett10k.com. That's JARRETT10k.com. I help people get roles in tech. I help people with generational wealth, and I also work with the 10X Incubator to get your startup funded. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to Kenyatta.
And he also lets people know all about the metaverse world. And you get to learn a lot if you just follow that man. Okay, so my name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. I'm your realtor in the state of Illinois and Georgia and now Florida. Hello.
Hello.
And I am also a financial service provider, which means that I can help you finance your deals and finance your business purpose loans. And as well as that, I'm down with the P.I.L.L method. Good morning, everyone.
All right, up next is otherwise CEO.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany, the Wise CEO. So glad to be here again in the P.I.L.L room. You guys know how I feel about finances. I really love it. It's in my blood. And I even had a child who is so ingrained with it, enthralled with it. He is a top banker. And I can tell you that Miami is going to be the next New York. I found that out back when I was in Miami a few years ago. So yes, Miami is competing with New York. It is what it is. Well, I can tell you one thing. You can be financially free to also be an investor. I'm Tiffany, the YCEO. I run 2 clubs here on Clubhouse, YCEO Network, trademark, where we talk about Black business development and the art of romance and passion at night with Dr. Michelle. So we got some amazing things going on here on Clubhouse. You can listen to my replays in my channel, well, in my link, not my channel, but you can go to my YouTube channel. And we actually just had a webinar with Black Enterprise. So make sure you tap in if you want to know all things business development. And you can meet me at yceo10x.com, yceo10x.com. See you later.
All right, up next is Veronica.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Love. I have about 25 years in IT recruiting. I recruit IT executives as well as in healthcare. I've worked for companies like AMD, Continental Airlines, which you know as United Airlines, BP, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I help people find the right roles with the right companies. And I'm also a real estate investor, currently in Miami looking for real estate property to invest in and purchase. So I agree with Miami's growing. Can't wait to buy some properties and then use the P.I.L.L method to pay them off quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. And up next is Kirk.
Good morning, everybody. Good to be here. My name is Kirk Nugent, a former missionary and IT exec turned content creator and live video coach. I've been given the title Geek Speaker Preacher, and it really embodies my passions: technology, media, speaking, and ministry. While I'm growing intentionally on a number of social media platforms, my primary focus is on YouTube, where I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to harness the power of live video. Today in this room, I get to serve as your producer. If you want to learn more about live video and its power, tap in with me at kirk10klive.com. Good morning.
Awesome, Kirk. And by the way, Clubhouse folks, please click the raise hand button. Come on stage, ask a question about your refinance, mortgage, or your car loans. So Satira will be getting to you soon. Up next is Credit Goddess.
Hey, Grand Rising, everyone. My name is Rosalie Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am a credit strategist, business credit consultant with over 10 years of experience in the credit industry. I help people build good credit for a better lifestyle, qualifying for funding, and receive good approvals. I offer both personal and business credit, and my clients qualify for up to 6-figure lines of credit. And I love to do what I do because it helps people achieve their personal and business goals. So if you guys are interested, come on up and ask your questions. I am here to answer any of your questions based on credit. So I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Last but not least, we got Coffee Brown.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Coach P. Coffee Brown here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. I am an educator by day at the high school level, and I am also a publisher. I have an established published house with over
50 authors that are international best sellers. And so we're super excited to be in the building with these incredibly amazing thought leaders. Love what Don is doing. Got the book. You guys have got to grab that book and snatch it so you can get free in the path of successfully having financial independence. So I'm super excited to be here, and thank you guys for having me. If you want to know any more about what I do, why I do, how I do it, and when I do it, just click on my face and connect with me via Instagram. Thank you so much. I'm back to my children.
All right, perfect. So up next, we're going to go with Satir. Please let us know what your question is.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. My question's geared towards Kenyatta. I came on the back end of what she was saying. I just want to give some remarks based on my experience. Probably the most novice person here. Really brief history. Owned a cupcake bakery. Always passionate about real estate. No experience therein. Loved Miami. Live here in San Antonio, Texas. Grew up some in Florida. So I always found myself going back and forth. I would say yes to Miami, and I would say yes to Canvas, where you're, I think you said intending to purchase. I actually purchased there during the pre-development stage, so when it was pre-construction, just doing some mental mathematics, noticing that it was the lowest, what do you say, the lowest new construction build in Miami, as many assume or know. Miami's very expensive. So that was the lowest pre-construction build per square foot. And it is sort of in the hood. It's between Wynwood and not necessarily the best desirable area, but it's coming up, sort of being gentrified, if you want to call it that. And so what I did was I actually purchased 2 units side by side, and I got with the developer to ask them to not put a wall, so they're connected. And that's huge in Miami. I just want to give a word of advice, in my opinion, that works, because it's the best decision I think I made. It's huge in Miami to have enough square footage, enough bedrooms, basically, that makes sense for the renter or the buyer or whoever you're looking to serve, Airbnb person, because that's very rare in Miami. To get 4 bedrooms, for example, which is what I have, would cost like quite a bit. And so what I did was I did that and connected them. And so there's 2 different mortgages, one for each unit. Purchased it under an LLC, and currently it rents right now monthly for $10,000, both units combined. So I would highly encourage Canvas. I'd love to connect. I didn't know if you were asking for an opportunity to do so, but we could speak. I did just send you a message, and I apologize. I don't have many of my socials or LinkedIn connected, but I will. I'm pretty new to this platform. My question is, it was really just sort of wanting to reach out to Kenyatta to see if we could get some answer on what she was mentioning, that if she was asking for investors or if she was more so just telling us about what she was doing. But either way, I would just highly encourage Canvas and Miami in general. Very, very good idea.
I want you to know that you're so spot on. That's the exact building that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes, and so both. I'm helping investors that want to get in, as well as sharing with you guys my process and what we're doing. So yeah, if you want in, yes, please hit me up. Just hit me up anyway.
Yeah, I will. I thank you. And to sort of add to the room to try to ask a question, I like I said, $9,000 a month in rent, pay less than $2,000. I mean, total for both units, and this includes everything in escrow. And that's by way of refinancing. I took full advantage of that 2020 situation. And I just want to ask, I mean, I'm not opposed to the P.I.L.L method, very interested, obviously, that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of refinancing versus the P.I.L.L method, when I hear P.I.L.L method, I think, 7 years, that's kind of a long ways away. But to eliminate that that mortgage for, the rest of eternity is very enticing. But how would you rate refinancing versus the P.I.L.L method? With refinancing, obviously, there's some fees that you have to pay in that, closing costs and things like that just seem to add to the amount that you owe in total. They sort of add that $20,000 or whatever to your mortgage loan that you owe. So how would you say the two vary? Like, what would you just say the P.I.L.L method is more advantageous than refinancing?
So, Tara, that is a great question. So what we're talking about is not whether you should engage the P.I.L.L method or refinancing. What we're talking about is which one of these 2 ideas is going to save you the most money overall. And sometimes combining the two ideas will save you the most money overall. So when you're borrowing money, what we generally look at as real estate investors is, am I charging enough rent to cover the mortgage payment and still cash flow and make significant money? Is that kind of where we need to be? Is that, would you say?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, what I've seen over the past few years is that once a person is in that position, they've bought the property right, they've got the mortgage that they need, and they are making money. They're cash flowing. What they tend to forget is how much interest they're paying each month to acquire the equity that they are acquiring. So they pay the interest and they just chalk it up as the cost of doing business because they are making money. Oh, can I give you a quick example of what we're talking about?
Sure, please do.
All right, so I have a $400,000 mortgage on the screen right now that we're putting up for those who are on the streaming platform, and so it's 400,000 at 4%. It is a multi-family building, and it's it's supposed to be 400,000. I put 4 million. Let's start with 400,000 first before we go to the 4 million. All right. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We have right now $400,000 at 4% for 30 years. The payment is $1,909.66. That's the mortgage, and it is a multi-family building. Therefore, it is making money. Okay. So now here's what we're talking about. In the first year, on this building, if we just make the minimum payment, Satira, we're going to pay that down by $7,044.15. That's how much of the loan we will pay off in the first year. It will cost $15,871.77 in interest to do that, though.
I see.
That 15,871, is that something we should ignore?
No.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about. I'll give you a quick example. Now, this is just an example. This is not how the P.I.L.L method works, because the P.I.L.L method engages technology to help individuals, to help businesses, to help churches to figure out how much of their money is going to be applied towards principal to gain equity much faster at a much cheaper cost. So right now, this $7,000 that paid off on this loan is potential equity. Would you agree to that?
Yes.
But it cost $15,871 over that year to acquire that equity. But because we were cash flowing, we kind of ignored that point. So here's my question: What if the real estate investor has some cash on the side that they use for repairs? They have a repair account. They keep that in the bank, and they said, well, I got this cash over here in reserve just in case something goes wrong, and we can jump on it and get it fixed and not have a problem. And I've known people who have 30, 40, 50, 60, even up to $100,000 in a reserve account, depending on how many doors they're managing. So here's something. Most people are unaware that if they were to borrow the $7,044.15 that they would pay over a 12-month period, if they would borrow that from themselves out of that reserve account that's making 0.1% sitting in the bank, they could prepay that money, pay off 1 year's worth of principal, be paid down to line 12 on their amortization schedule in 1 month. And what just happened? What just happened is they have paid their loan down to the very same place they would have if they had paid it naturally over 12 months, but it wouldn't cost them $15,871 to do that. it would only cost them $1,333.33 using money that was just sitting in the bank, making 0.1%. Now, how do we put that money back? So most investors that I talk to have a certain percentage of the rents that they bring in to put into a reserve account. What if we could put that $7,000 back in 3 or 4 months? Would that be preferable to just ignoring the fact that we're just making the minimum payments on the loan and cash flowing money? So would looking at this way put us in a better position? Mr. Tira, if you're talking, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Yeah, it would definitely.
So now so with this in mind, let's talk in terms of, because people refinance for all sorts of reasons. Okay. What would be a good reason to refinance on a building that you own? And so now that we're not talking about one way versus another, let's take a look at what would be a good reason to refinance and how we can use interest cancellation in that situation. Can you give us one?
Sure. I'll be fully transparent. I refinanced because dealing in Miami, it was really, it was a lot. It was jumping through a lot of hoops to get the financing I need by my closing date for the new construction.
Yeah.
And not from a standpoint of qualifying, just from the standpoint, honestly, of dealing with administration, dealing with people there. Just it's kind of like it's America, but it's different. They operate differently. I'll put it that way. Love it though.
Okay. Okay.
And so it was difficult to do that. And so I actually had to, if I recall correctly, it was a hard money loan.
Yes.
Very not to my advantage. I was paying quite a bit. And so this was just by the person I was working with. Full credit to her. This was by virtue of us knowing that we were going to do this eventually, just sort of waiting for the steps to do so, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, Miami. But yeah, so this was kind of us finally getting to that final, what I would say that final loan. Like we went through this twice actually, and wasted probably a couple tens of thousands of dollars in doing so. But this was us getting to the finish line in terms of what I would pay for the future. Like I don't plan to refinance again. I don't feel like I need to, but learning about this P.I.L.L method is very enticing.
Well, Mr. Tara, that a lot of people do that. I mean, to get the deal done, they go out, get a hard money loan for that particular purpose, knowing that they're going to cash out refi out of that hard money loan into a long-term mortgage. And now guess what? Don't look at that money that you paid on the hard money loan as lost. We're going to recover that now because we're going to be able to save so much more money on this new loan. Now, here's what we're talking about. We're not just talking about saving money and interest on these loans on the commercial property. Let's take a look at knowing that we'll be able to cash out refi on this property, take cash out of it, and then reinvest it in other and growing your portfolio. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, that's actually, that was going to be part two of my question, just by listening to other people's conversations, because I'm doing this. Like this is like, I was property number 1, but I'm on number 6 right now, trying to see how I can do this sustainably.
Well, listen, you need to hit me up on the back channel because we need to partner up already. Because I can.
Yeah, this is my absolute passion. Like my Pinterest 10 years ago, I was saving houses by category, and I'm living off of this. I'll try to work in the family business, but this is, I think, what will retire me. So okay. I love real estate. Yeah.
All right. Now here's what I mean by what I just said. Let's just say that we wanted to cash out refi on this thing. Okay. So now if we're just looking at paying the loan down and we're outside of looking at how market conditions would actually grow our equity. Let's just look at paying the loan down. Okay. So it would take us 138 months to pay this loan down by $100,000. Okay, 138 months. We divide that by 12. That gives us 11 and a half years. Okay, 11 and a half years. Just by paying the loan down, we were able to cash out $100,000. But guess what? It would cost us $162,000 in interest that we had just ignored to get there. So here's what I'm saying. What if our goal was to get to $100,000 in equity, but we could get there in 5 years, not at $162,000 in interest, but maybe closer to 50 grand in interest paid to get to the same point. So we're acquiring the property at a much lower interest cost to do the same thing without sacrificing any of the money we need to invest in other properties. So if we could do that and save $110,000 in interest that we didn't have to pay to get to the same point where we could cash out $100,000. Now, what do we do with that $110,000 we didn't have to pay the bank, Mr. Tira?
I mean, there's a plethora of opportunities. I go to the next one, on to the next.
That's what we're
if
talking
anyone
about.
needs a lot, I've got it, by the way. Like, I have a ton of lots I want to develop on.
Yeah.
That it makes sense. I mean, this is kind of how you could do it somewhat sustainably.
Yes.
Which is what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what we're talking about. Stop treating that interest as the cost of doing business, and let's see how we can borrow your money at a discount.
Awesome. Now, could I ask a practical question? Will you do this?
Yes.
I mean, it's not necessarily in favor of, this is not what the bank or the lending company intended, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you need to, I mean, obviously you do your due diligence to keep track of this, but does it happen just sort of like automatic? When you say pay a year off of principal and it'll take you to the same place.
Right.
Should I request a new amortization? Like, should I request that in statement? I guess it would show. When I think about one of the properties I have here, Accordion Ranch in Bernie, it does not show what I owe, a balance. I guess I just have to do my due diligence, my account keeping. How does this work in relation to the bank? Like, are y'all on the same page, or do you just surprise them in 7 years? Like, what's the process? Like,
okay.
practically.
Well, listen, that's a great question. So here's what's going on. The bank is the computers keep track of all of this. Okay. So every time you disrupt their timing, all right, and put more towards principal, saving interest, you destroy the old amortization schedule, and their computers generate a new one every time you do that. So that's not going to be a problem. The other thing is to keep up with it. If they have computers keeping up with their end, why are we trying to keep up on our end with a pad and paper, pad and pen, and our pencil, and a dime store calculator? What we need is to fight fire with fire. We have some financial technology that keeps track of all of this for you. It tells you how much to pay, what month to pay it in, what day of the month to pay it on, and we're going to calculate the interest savings, and you can predict into the future when you're going to have the cash that you intend to pull out of this property, and we're going to even predict the amount of interest that you will have had to pay to get there. So all of this is taken care of by what we call our opportunity cost calculator, our OCC. When we plug all the numbers in there, it takes care of everything for you. You follow the prompts like financial GPS, and it makes it so it takes a very complicated system, simplifies it for the user, and optimizes their savings and their earnings. What do you say?
Yeah, excellent. Wish I had known about this sooner. But yeah, that's great. Well, definitely. When you say all this, I just was clicking on the P.I.L.L Method Clubhouse digital business card.
Mm-hmm.
How do I opt in? I mean, I've already followed you. Is there a website?
Okay.
I need to tap into this soon, I think.
So you mean the P.I.L.L method itself, or the
And what you said, like the calculator that will make this all seamless, and it just seems like a service that I pay for. Like, where do you?
all right, so what you do is that you should see get a savings and earnings report.
Okay.
All right, when you click on that, you just follow the instructions, and then as you follow the instructions, it'll let you into a form where you can put in your financial data. Put in your financial data, and then somebody from my staff will give you a call back and set up a consultation. Then you can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free on that property. We'll also be able to discuss when it would be the best time to cash out refi. You can know how much interest you're going to be saving. You then can find out what we charge for the service for your particular situation. And then we go from there if this is something that looks like it works out for you. But know this, the interest savings, a tiny portion of the interest savings pays for your lifetime program, and you can use it over and over again. I got real estate investors that started, I don't know, back in 2008, and they're paying off their fourth property with the same program that they bought back in 2008 and haven't paid another dime to us. So it's,
and I will say I'll yield soon because I want to give others
Sure.
opportunity to speak, and I assume that this question will sort of get answered as I continue to listen. But I am curious. It just seems like you sort of have to bite the bullet, and I think you maybe touched on how you don't have to change your lifestyle and this that, and the other.
Right.
And I am curious on how that works practically. Like, it seems like you just need to bite the bullet for 7 years or whatever and pay things off, and then live comfortably thereafter.
Not at all. That's what's being taught now. You see, the very first thing that you're going to learn with the P.I.L.L method is live an enhanced lifestyle. Okay, don't cut yourself back. Who's going to get cut back on this deal? Who's going to get cut back is the bank, and not earning all the interest that they wanted to earn. You're going to use your current budget, your current lifestyle, and then grow your equity 5 times faster by cutting interest costs by 75%. So you don't need more money to manage your debt. You need to pay less interest. So no, there is no cutting back. There's no biting the bullet. There is living well as we teach you how to cut interest cost. I mean, it's a totally different mindset. There are folks that teach that. There's a woman that teaches that, and we all know her name. There's a guy in Tennessee that teaches that, and we all know his name. But no, we are not that. You live well while you're doing this, while you're cutting back on your interest cost, which makes everything work. Oh man, I'm so glad you asked that question, because you need to see how all of this comes together.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you so much for the platform. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow Don. Always on notification right next to the bell, and definitely make sure you type in with all these moderators as well. If you're in the audience, this room is super interactive. Don's time outside of Clubhouse is not free, so take advantage of the opportunity to come up and ask these questions while you can. We have about an hour and 20 minutes left, so please raise your hand, ask your questions, and if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, make sure to type your questions into the chat. Or you can go to ice10klive.com, join the club on Clubhouse, and you can join this room, pop on stage, and ask your question live. So with that being said, surprisingly, no questions about their refinance, their mortgage, their credit card debt, or their student loans. So Don, if you have an example of how you've been able to save your customers money and all the ways you do so, that might stoke some questions.
All right.
So I'll pass the mic to you. But if you're in the Clubhouse audience, you can go to ice10klive.com on your computer, laptop, desktop, iPad, etc. Type in ice10klive.com. That way you can stay in the room on Clubhouse, but you can see the visuals of the things that he's going through live on a screen. And you'll be able to see the amortization schedules, the interest calculators, all that good stuff. So make sure if you have the opportunity to do that, and also click that plus sign, invite as many people in the room as possible, or if you're on the 4 streaming platforms, click the share option. So if there are no questions, Don, let's see what example you'd like to give everyone.
All right, Jared. Well, here's the first thing I want to say is if you are looking to
And if you're speaking, Don, you're on mute on Clubhouse.
all right, great. If you're looking to own a home, if you're looking to own property, if you're looking to be a real estate investor, there are some things that you absolutely need to unlearn when it comes to lending. Number one, getting the lowest interest rate will make it harder to pay off the loan early and to save money. Okay, that's number one. You want the right interest rate for you as a home buyer, or the right interest rate for you as a real estate investor to manage saving money and growing your equity. You need the right interest rate, not the lowest interest rate. Why do I say that? Okay, because banks have one product. They rent their money. And so if they're renting money and they want to make the most money they possibly can, why are they offering you ways to save money? Here's my question. If you're saving money, then the bank would have to be losing money, correct? Then why are they giving you so many ways to save money? Folks, if we take a look at the whole picture and start asking good questions, then why give me a lower interest rate when I would have been okay with the higher interest rate because I need their money? So that's one thing. Here's the other thing, refinancing. Okay. Refinancing to a lower interest rate may not be to your advantage. It could be, but it may not be because we're focusing on the wrong thing. If you are getting into, here's another thing. If you're getting into your home or getting into as a real estate investor, here's something that'll probably blow your mind. Never, ever, ever, ever give a large down payment on a loan if you don't have to. Never do it. Never do it. So if you want to see an example of why you don't want to, we're going to give you two. I'm going to go over two examples today. One is down payments on a loan. Never do it. The other one is by lowering your interest rate, you are actually putting yourself at a disadvantage. Okay. So right now we have on the screen this $400,000 mortgage I was talking about. All right. And so let's invite people to come and take a look at this example. Even before I get started, we're already up to 12 people that are streaming. And to see this example, let's see if we can get a few more. Jared, Kenyatta, either one of you.
So what are we
What we're doing is inviting people in to take a look at our example.
Okay, so you guys go to ice10klive.com, and what you want to do is pick from LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter so that you can see these examples.
All right, folks. So I've got a $400,000 mortgage at 4%. And so we're going to take a look at what we could do if the bank says, listen, if you put $100,000 down, you could make some headway on this loan. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to pull up another example. There we go. And we're going to do a $300,000 loan because listen, we're going to put $100,000 down on this thing. So at 4% for 30 years. Now, anytime the banks come to you with an offer like this, all the numbers are based on all 360 payments, 30 years. Everything they're offering is 30 years. So that what they're comparing is one 30-year loan against another 30-year loan. But did you realize that the average client with the P.I.L.L method pays off a loan in 7 to 9 years? So we're now looking at the interest cost for 30 years. You then have to look at the interest cost you would have if you were only in the loan for 7 years. Okay. And that makes a huge difference. But let's just take a look at these two 30-year loans. Okay. So we have the $400,000 mortgage, and the bank wants, $287,477.60 over 30 years. 287,000. That's 71% of what you borrowed. The bank wants in interest. But if I look at the $300,000 loan, let's calculate that. Now we're looking at $215,000 in interest over 30 years. So these are the numbers that they are contrasting: 287,000 versus 215,000. So if I just took a look at that, I might say, well, shoot, I'd be better off if I give them the $100,000. All right. So if we did a little bit of math here, and we put in, I'm just going to round some things off, and we have 287. All right. And then we're going to subtract 215, subtract 215,000. Boom. That's $72,000 in interest saved over a 30-year period. Keep that in mind, because what we're doing is contrasting two 30-year loans. Okay. So if that's the case, I can save $72,000 in interest. If I give them the $100,000, then I might be tempted to do that. But let me show you what happens if we decided to take the $400,000 loan. Okay. The $400,000 loan. Now, if I have that, where is my $100,000, folks? My $100,000 is still in my bank. Now, we don't necessarily advocate doing it this way, but if all you know is putting down $100,000 as a down payment, then the only other thing you would know is to put it down as a prepayment. So if you still have your $100,000 in the bank, and you are now getting ready to make your first payment on this $400,000 loan, could you now apply your $100,000 to this loan after you close, not before? Let's take a look at cumulative principal here. All right. So if you take a look at cumulative principal, you can tell where you are at any given time. So we're going to scroll down to $100,000. Okay. All right, $100,000. Look at this. Look at this. We're still scrolling. We're still scrolling. $100,000. That takes us down to, boom, line 138. 138. So, and 138, which is, so if we take 138, okay, and divide that by 12, we just knocked 11 and a half years off this loan in 1 month by putting the $100,000 down as a prepayment instead of a down payment. And now, instead of saving $72,000 over a 30-year period, we've already saved in just 1 month $161,000 in interest we never have to pay the bank. And that's just in 1 month. We've already saved that money we never have to pay. Folks, there is a huge difference. I mean, a tremendous difference between putting your money down as a down payment and putting it down as a prepayment. Are we seeing that? Do you see that today? I'm telling you, folks, do not do it. Don't put your money down as a down payment if you can avoid it. Now, that is not to say, All right. And somebody, please don't misunderstand. You have to put a minimum down depending on what kind of loan you have. There's a minimum amount down that you have to put down, but don't put any more than you have to if you can avoid it. Use that money to develop your equity, to kill interest, and then to build equity much faster, much cheaper by using your down payment and a different way as a prepayment to the loan. All right. So listen, folks, this is something that I just love talking about. Now, if there are no questions or comments, Jared, I'd like to go into why I believe that lowering the interest rate on loans actually puts people at a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I see that we have one question hand raised.
Okay.
Real quick. But Kirk, are there any other questions out on the streams?
No, we just have some folks tagging people and bringing them in, but no questions at this time on the stream.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get this person on the stage. All right.
So listen, folks, while we're bringing that person up on the stage, I just want you to keep these things in mind as you are looking to, now these things apply to whether it's a home, it's a business, it's a church, it's a car, whatever you're doing, let's make sure that we are unlearning what we've been taught over the last 88 years and learn how to save money overall in managing your loans. Don't look at just the payment. Don't look at just the interest rate, but you want to look at the interest cost of managing your loans. And let's bring that and let's drive the interest cost on these loans into the dirt by learning these techniques. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
Awesome. So we have DJ P.I.L.L up on the stage, and we got Valerie. So thank you so much for coming to the stage. Really appreciate your participation. But Don, before we go to DJ P.I.L.L,
yes,
if people get in touch with you and your team to figure out like the day, month, and year they can be interest or mortgage free, debt free, what would they need to do?
Oh my gosh. All they need to do, Kurt, Jared, is go to ice10klive.com. Just click the link right above our heads. ICE10K Live. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. Okay. ICE10K Live. And there's a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Follow the directions because we're trying to keep out the robots. So follow the directions exactly. Get your code so that can let you into the financial form. Put in your financial information. Somebody from our team will give you a call. And then by verifying that information, then set you up for a consultation. With that, you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, how much interest you could save, how quickly you can accrue equity in your properties at a much lower interest cost. And we'll also talk to you about how you can use those interest savings to generate generational wealth. All right. That's how you do it, Jared.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Definitely make sure you tap into his 10K card and get in touch with his team. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the stage, DJ P.I.L.L. Please let us know what your question is.
Hi, good morning. If you want to, I can defer to Valerie in the ladies first type deal if you guys want me to do that.
And I appreciate you, brother. Gentlemen still do exist, ladies. All right. So Valerie, DJ P.I.L.L referring to you. So please let us know what your question is.
Thank you so much. So I am looking at closing in on a short-term rental. And I am really excited about it. I'm actually going in with 0% down. And I wanted to compare these two options. They did offer like an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, and I'm a little bit unfamiliar. So I wanted to know your thoughts on what are some questions I should ask As far as I don't mind, maybe a higher interest rate at the beginning. I don't mind that at all, because eventually I do want to have this as a source of revenue. And, over the next couple of months to a year, I'll be acquiring revenue and then putting that back into the loan. So what are your thoughts on comparing the adjustable rate mortgage as opposed to the traditional?
Valerie, how are you this morning? That is a great question. So let me ask you a couple of questions about that. Are they offering you a lower interest rate to take the adjustable rate loan?
If I remember correctly, it was a little bit lower. No, it was higher. It was a higher rate for the adjustable rate.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, usually it's the other way around. But so what we're looking at is a couple of things. When you are engaging in the pill method and using your resources not to cut interest cost and to build equity 5 times faster, let's just say you have an adjustable rate, and it's going to adjust after what? Is it supposed to adjust at, is it a 5-1 or 7-1? Did they say if it's going to adjust after 5 years or 7 years? Did you have that information?
They offered both 5 and 7.
5 and 7. Okay, let's just pick the 7. All right. Let's say it's going to adjust after 7 years. And can you give us an idea of how much the loan would be at the outset?
I forgot the principal. The offer was for 200K.
200K. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I just need something to work with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if it's just made up, we're working with 200K. All right. And the interest rate is floating around what? What would you say?
4.75.
4.75. All right. And the 30-year?
Yes.
Great. All right. So now the payment on that is $1,043.29 in 7 years. Okay. All right. That's 3. It says 6, 5, 6, 7. That's 84 payments. All right. In 7 years, you would have paid this loan down. If you just made the minimum payment, you paid it down by $25,000, and it would cost 62 grand in interest to do that. And now we have to take a look at what if the rate adjusts up, okay, or it could adjust down. All right. So now here's what most people are afraid of. If it adjusts up, then it's going to cause me a problem. But know this: you've already paid the loan down by $25,000. So if it adjusts up, you're going to it's going to adjust on a loan of $174,000. So it would have to adjust up quite a bit to be a problem for you. But what if at the end of the 7 years, you didn't pay the loan down by $25,000? What if you had paid the loan down by $75,000 or $100,000 in that 7 years?
Right.
Okay. So now we're already down to let's go down to 100,000. That's just like paying off 20 years on this loan. And so you only have $99,000 left at the 7-year mark, right? And if it adjusts up, it only adjusts on the $99,000. Even if it adjusts up quite a bit, your payment would still be lower than it is now.
Right.
Okay. So when it comes to trying to figure out an adjustable rate loan, there is no rule of thumb that I can give you. There is none. All I can give you is what are the things that we need to take a look at in terms of what our options would be. What are all the different parameters we would need to take a look at? Whether it's going to adjust up, how fast can we pay the loan down, how cheaply can we pay the loan down, and then what we don't want to do is play the game of, do I want the adjustable rate loan or do I want the fixed rate loan? And I'm comparing two 30-year loans. because what you want to do is say, if you wanted to work with us, we could plug these numbers in for you and say, based on what you have here, you could be at this point in this loan in 7 years, and we could predict that for you. All right.
Awesome.
And then once you now you have a new set of parameters. You're not comparing two 30-year loans. You're comparing the bank's 30-year loan against your 7-year loan or your 9-year loan. And then take a look at what we could do there, and see how the two interest rates might help you, or hurt you. The bottom line is, Valerie, how much is it going to cost you to manage these loans overall? Don't just look at the interest rate, but let's see how we can manage the interest cost. And we can help you to predict that using financial technology that you can put the numbers in and see your results years in advance. And you know what they say, people lie, but numbers don't lie.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome so much. All right. Who's next? I'm sorry, Jared, back to you.
No problem. Up next, we got DJ P.I.L.L. Thank you so much for deferring.
Hi, good morning once again. So I guess my question, as a officer before the last bubble, was that, of course, people were buying houses that were really on their means because they could do stated income and things of that nature. And I've always been a proponent of making an extra mortgage payment each year, and the old school method of cutting it down to 22 years by doing it that way. Your method is a lot more aggressive, which is especially appealing to me because I'm looking to buy, going back and forth to Puerto Rico and looking to buy in Puerto Rico, but generally they ask for a larger amount down. Like the house I just bought, I only had to put 5% down on it.
Mm-hmm.
The house I bought last year, I only had to put 3% down on it, but that was more my resistance to gaining any equity, using that as an excuse with the banks. Like, I don't want to put a lot of money down because we're in a COVID environment. I don't believe that my equity is going to still gain at a rate, surprisingly they are.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
So in Puerto Rico, it looks like I'm only going to be able to in at 10% down payment or higher.
Right.
So I'm very interested in multifamily properties and aggressively paying it down in this way so that I can make, of course, the most profit off of the short-term rentals. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is the balance between the profit from the last sale that bank that I figure I'm going to need to use on a down payment for a property down there, versus how much do I use in addition to the one mortgage payment a year that I've been accustomed to doing just to cut 7.5, 8 years off of the mortgage. I guess I'm kind of worried that if I use that cash towards this house, or a portion of that cash towards this house, puts me in a financial position in terms of the amount of savings I have that the banks in Puerto Rico may not want to lend to me because of the debt to income, that type.
Right.
And I, quite honestly, or full disclosure, I'm not the greatest at using other people's money to finance these type of investment projects. So I'm trying to get better at that at the same time, so it's not always all coming out of my pocket.
Right. So let me
hopefully that question makes sense.
Well, yeah, it makes perfect sense because I got Kenyatta wasn't flashing her mic, but in her heart she was. Because see, there are more than one type of loan out there. So there are loans out there right now that that you can get that require very little money down. All right. Because there are lenders that will take a look at the property and lend based on the property and its ability to make money. Okay. And so there are all types of lending all types of loans out there. So don't get focused in on don't narrow your scope in terms of I can only get this type of loan and I'm stuck in this box and I have to put this much money down. Okay. So there are, so don't get stuck there. That's number one. Number two is when you are, if you engage something like the P.I.L.L method, where we could use an opportunity cost calculator. So opportunity cost means if you spend your money one way, P-Funk, if you spend your money one way, you can't also spend it another way. That's
Right.
opportunity cost. Well, what you want to know is, which is the best thing I can do out of the several things I can do before I actually sign the document? Which one is going to cost me less money? Which one is going to put me in a favorable financial position, not only to make money but to reinvest much sooner and have more money in my pocket? So, and I guess what I'm also hearing, P-Funk, is, do I really want to be property rich and cash poor? Am I hearing that as well?
Yes, definitely, because I'd like to duplicate this, of course, multiple times over.
Mhm.
But I don't. What people are doing right now is going down there and they got the money to write big checks and just buy property in cash.
Right.
So I'll go after a property, I'll make a second call on it, and I'm getting well, that's already gone. So I'm trying to figure out how I can effectively jump into the market, but at the same time, not, completely get rid of all the cash I have in my bank account as well.
Okay. Listen, there are other opportunities out there. I would ask that you would tap in with Kenyatta, and she can go over. I mean, Kenyatta, they're getting pretty close to stated income loans again, aren't they? And
Well, no, they're here. They're here,
what?
and no doc loans.
No doc
And
loans?
yeah, so you guys, in 2008, they did away with these types of loans because you were able to state your loan as long as you state the amount of money you make. As long as you were able
Right.
to prove it, you can get 100% financing, with the right properties. Well, there's some parameters, but they're back. And so there's a lot of opportunities. And I hear your resolutions, but there's a tons of ways that you can do it. And I would love to talk to you about partnerships so you don't feel like the burden is all yours. And we could do some strategic stuff.
Yep. And then we'll come back
Okay.
to the P.I.L.L method and put it all together and tie it up with a bow. What do you say?
So just to be clear, are
Sure.
you, because of course, even though it's a U.S. territory, the same banks that can lend here cannot lend down there. So are we talking about a loan from a bank here on the mainland that is more of I guess it would be a personal loan or a private loan, since
So
it wouldn't be a mortgage?
what we're talking about is conventional loans done differently. We're talking about business instead of personal accounts, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
when you run it through business wise, there's a whole set of rules that just doesn't apply if you were trying to do it personally. So that's why we have to
Okay.
first talk about that stuff before we can, start to really take advantage of what is afforded to you. But it don't take that long at all.
And is this something that I need to first grab another, like I have an LLC for my entertainment business,
That's the one
but
we're going to use.
so don't grab a LLC
No,
specific
no,
to
sir.
mortgage.
That's
Okay.
the one we're going to use. You already have a aged business. That's the one we're going to use.
Okay.
Dang!
The minimum is 2 years in business.
Wow, wow, wow.
Okay. Got that covered.
Another Clubhouse connection right here on this stage in the P.I.L.L Method Club. I love, love, love it. Mr. P Funk, do you have any other questions for us this morning?
I guess maybe just that, because I don't have, this is a brand new build. I don't have very much equity in this home, of course, at the moment, but I am doing things, to fight off my by adding a pool and things of that and the nature in the near future, because I didn't finance the pool into the home loan. I didn't have that opportunity to go after it. So I'm just looking for ways, and thank you, Kenyatta, for speaking to that. I'm looking for ways that I can kind of streamline my debt to income ratio, I paid off one of my vehicles, that type of thing. But, you know, like I said, the main two things is figuring out how to either uh, go into a joint venture or maybe even crowd fund so that it's not taking the full weight onto me, but then applying this method so that, you know, we all can profit on the back end more quickly.
Gotcha. So what we want to do is make sure that we're using other people's money to the fullest extent of our personal of our credit profile, our business credit profile, making sure that it is up to snuff, doing everything that we need to do so that we can maximize the use of somebody else's money and let our cash do something else. Okay, that's going to be number one on the list. Kenyatta can help you with that. And then once we establish that loan, now it's time to gain equity at 4 to 5 times the regular rate at a much lower interest cost, so that now that when it comes time for you to cash out refi, you can do that year sooner. Use the property that you already have, that your tenants helped you to pay for, then use that cash in 5 to 7 years instead of 12 to 15 years. Take that cash and then do what other people are doing to help you to establish more properties, because you have more money available to you. And along the way, you are improving your credit profile so that you can get whatever you want.
And also, Don, I'm just going to touch on this briefly for anyone that's listening. We also have the debt service coverage ratio loan, which allows you to use your income that your property generates too. And then with the pool, that's actually a value add depending on where you're located. If it's in Chicago, that's actually a minus. But if you're in a hot climate, that's actually a value add. And so we're going to look at the total scope of what you have and what you're trying to accomplish and do something that makes sense.
Kenyatta, I just wrote that down. DSCR. I just wrote it down. Okay. Debt service coverage ratio loan. Tell us a little bit about what is a DSCR loan? What is it?
So basically, you guys, what it is you have a place, but maybe it's generating money through Airbnb. Maybe you have a long-standing tenant in there. So then that brings up the value of the actual property. So you have the value of the property plus the income that it generates. That affords you more money for loans.
So you can get a loan based on just that?
Yes.
So that's why they call it debt service coverage ratio loan, because you have enough income that pays for the debt service on the loan.
Exactly.
Doggone it. I love that.
If I can ask a question, are you referring to like multifamily units that already have tenants, or can it be based on, subject to your renovations?
It could be empty. I have a house right now in Chicago that I'm rehabbing, and I'm using a DSCR on my house. And so it's in shambles, and I'm gonna do a VA house, and I'm using the income that it's gonna generate with nobody in it.
Okay. All right. And I'm in Florida, by the way.
So
Tampa
that pool
area.
is a value add, so you're good.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about here. How to use the bank's money, how to get it at a discount. I love borrowing money at a discount. Not only that, but there are different types of loans for different purposes that you may not have heard of. So, folks, do not, and I will repeat, do not trust what you already know and put yourself in a box and keep yourself from being able to prosper because there's other information out there for you that could actually help you. We don't know what we don't know. Ask the experts and and get the information that you need to keep from making mistakes. And it says, oh, you know what? If I had just asked this question of somebody else, we could have done so much better. Here's what I want you to know, folks. In traditional lending, you do not want to go to your lender to educate you on how lending actually works. And here's why. Because in traditional lending, the loan officers know very little about how lending works. They know a lot about how to sell their company's products, but they know very little about how the loan actually works to advise you on how to set this up so it would be advantageous for you. Get with us at the P.I.L.L Method. We'll show you. We could be your advocates in that situation, so that when you go in, you're going in educated, or you can go in with someone who is educated on how loans work, and we could set this thing up. Getting the right loan, getting it set up before you sign is more than half the battle. Then we go in and then start saving you interest on the back end. But if you can get this loan set up front with the right loan, with the right setup, with the right parameters that speak to your needs, oh my gosh, it is much, much easier to save money and to start building wealth. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Don. So make sure you follow the club, click the greenhouse, follow the club, as well as follow Don and click the always on notification next to the follow button. And Don, real quick, you talked about accessing the information.
Yep.
And what you did is you wrote a book that's an Amazon bestseller that packages up the information that can be shared to family, friends, colleagues, real estate brokers, etc. Love for you to let people know a little bit more about that book, how they can get it, and also the extra value they would get if they purchased the book today.
Excellent. So what you can do, out of 33 million books, folks, out of 33 million titles on Amazon, there's one title, The P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. There's one title that talks about what we've been talking about all morning, is how do I understand how lending works, and how do we take advantage of an amortization schedule, defeat it, instead of letting it defeat us. There's only one book that does that. That's the P.I.L.L Method. So if you go ahead and go to ICE10KLive.com, and ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert, ICE, the number 10, the letter K, live.com, and then you'll see the button that says get the book. Once you get the book, then you're able to get a digital business card that you can get because we provide that for you here at the P.I.L.L Method. So what can I say? You get a valuable resource in the book. You also will get a valuable resource in a digital business card that it's like having 10,000 cards in one. It's amazing what this thing can do for you. When you're in a room, you can airdrop it to everybody in the room. You can get the QR code and share it that way. You can email that thing out to you. And here's what's great about the card. Whoever has my digital business card, as soon as I make a change to it, it changes everybody's card at the same time. I don't have to keep reprinting cards or crossing out numbers and write. Have you ever gotten one of those cards where they crossed out a number and wrote in their new number? Oh no, none of that. None of that. So what we're doing is bringing you into a new age of digital business cards. And I'm telling you, all your businesses in one place, all your contact information in one place. And then we're going to be able to give that to you with the purchase of my book. Kenyatta, would you please tell them how they'll be able to get their 10K card with the purchase of the Pill Method book.
So you purchase the book, you want to screenshot that receipt, go to ice10klive.com, go to step 2 that says I'm ready, upload that receipt, and then build out your card to let us know your social media outlets, your number, your email, etc. Then let us know where you want to receive that digital card, and you'll receive your 10K card value at $100.
All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. So, everybody, if you're getting a lot of value out of the information that you're getting, definitely make sure that you tap into the book. Also, would love for you to click that on the left lower hand corner. There's an option that is to share the room. Would love for you to click that. Make a comment. Let people know what you're getting out of today's room. We've had 16 people share today. Really appreciate that. Share to the hallway. Let people know what you're getting out of the room, the value you're getting, and you are going to help somebody save a ton of money that is in your hallway that is following you today. All right. So we have 2 questions online. So Kirk, I'm going to pass it to you so you can go ahead and let Don know those questions.
All right, all right. Yeah. So we have a question from Jeremiah Sams, Don.
Yes.
And I think you saw some of these already. What is a balloon payment? Can the P.I.L.L method help with it? Those are the 2 questions that Jeremiah is asking. So we'll deal with that one first. And then Wesley, we're coming to your question as well. Hopefully you guys are still hanging out with us. Thank you for your questions today. Just want to say a word of welcome and thanks to those who are online with us. And if you guys have questions, go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat, wherever you're watching from, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. All right, Don, so what is a balloon payment?
What is a balloon payment? Well, if you have, let's say you have a 30-year amortization on your loan, that tells you how much principal and interest you're going to be paying on each payment. But let's just say that it is a 10-year term. It's a 30-year amortization, but it's a 10-year term. So that means if after 10 years, if that loan is not paid off, now the rest of the loan becomes due. All right, that's a balloon payment. And then you have a couple of different options. You can pay off the entire loan with cash, pay it off, or refinance the rest of the loan. But that's what a balloon payment is. Now on, let's see, and can the P.I.L.L method help with it? Okay, we've helped people with a ton of mortgages that have a balloon payment, or any other type of loan that has a balloon payment. Let's just say that they come to us at the beginning of the loan and it's a 10-year balloon. All right. So here's my question to anybody who is thinking about this. The average person who has the P.I.L.L method pays off that loan, Kenyatta, in an average of 7 to 10 years. So if they pay it off in 7 to 10 years, do they have a balloon payment, Kenyatta?
They have a payment that they already structured themselves. They saved themselves some time, energy. Don, you showing people how not to care.
Now, what you say? I don't care if I have a balloon payment.
None of that matters anymore.
Lord have mercy. Did you hear that, folks? We're teaching you not to care. If you have a 10-year balloon, but it's going to be paid off in 7, you don't care. So take advantage of anything that they're telling you that you can actually, if there's some benefits that you can get with a 10-year balloon, well, shoot, get the benefits and pay it off in 7 or 8. My goodness.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
good.
folks, this is a whole new day. All right. So what's next? So yeah, your P.I.L.L can definitely help you with that. Go ahead, bud.
So it's a resounding yes, Jeremiah. Thank you so much for that question. Let us know in the comments if you have any follow-up. Wesley is asking this question. Would a person save more money with the P.I.L.L method on a 30-year loan versus a 15-year loan? I know I already have an idea of the answer for this one, Don, but we're going to let you have center stage here to answer this one. Wesley, buckle in.
All right, so we're going to put this right on the screen. All right, so let's go ahead and I've got that same $400,000 mortgage up here at 4%. All right. And it's a 30-year loan. Okay. Here's what you, here's what,
Quick, I just want to jump in for the folks that are new to the room.
yes.
If you have a laptop, an iPad, or desktop near you, go to ice10klive.com right now in your browser. Either choose YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter so you can see this example. And this is going to really help you understand the difference between a 15-year and a 30-year via the P.I.L.L method. All right, back to you, Doc.
All right. Here's the thing. When it comes to loans, okay, you focus on what's important. Do not focus on what's not important. So what we've been taught to focus on is the term, whether it's a 30-year or a 15-year or a 20-year or a 10-year. We've been taught to focus there. We've been taught to focus on the interest rate, not the interest cost. We've been taught to focus on the payment. So here's the whole thing. The reason why you get a loan to purchase your property is because you may not have the cash to purchase it outright, or you don't want to use your cash to purchase it outright. So now, what is the next thing you want to think about? How do I pay off the loan? Okay. Now, do we pay off the loan? What is the reason why we want to pay off the loan? Just to say that we've paid it off? Or is it because we want to save interest? So if the loan was 0% interest, there is no financial benefit to pay the loan off early. None. So then the reason why we pay it off is to save on the interest. So if we give you the wherewithal to cut your interest cost by 75 or 80%, then you automatically pay the loan off sooner because more of your money goes to principal, less of your money goes to interest. All right. So now we're going to, with that in mind, let's talk about 30-year loans, 15-year loans, 10-year loans. Okay. So if you have a 30-year loan and we plug it into the P.I.L.L method, and you know up front that we're going to cut your $300,000 in interest that you're supposed to pay on that loan, we're going to cut it down to $90,000 instead. Therefore, you're able to pay off the loan in 7 years. Why would you get a 15-year loan when you can pay off the 30-year loan in 7? Because now we're focusing on what really matters is interest savings and getting rid of the loan. So here's what I need to tell you. A 30-year loan on the P.I.L.L method, if you have the resources, pays off in 7. A 20-year loan pays off in 7. A 15-year loan pays off in 7. Let's go the other way. A 40-year loan pays off in 7. A 50-year loan pays off in 7 years if you have the same resources. Don't look where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many years that they give you. What matters is how much interest can you save and when will you be done with the loan? And you can know that going in. Here's the next thing you need to consider. I've got a $400,000 loan on here at 30 years, and the payment is $1,909.66. You see that? So we're going to click over here. We're going to change this to another $400,000 loan. Okay. And instead of 30 years, we're going to make it 15 years. Okay. Now, do you see what I'm doing here, folks? I can know what my 15-year payment is going in before I start. The 15-year payment is $2,958.75. The 30-year payment is $1,909.66. So let's just say all I know, because you learned quite a bit today. Let's just say that all I know is I can get a 30-year loan or a 15-year loan. What you know is there's a 30-year payment and a 15-year payment. You can get the 30-year loan and make the 15-year payment. You don't need permission to have a 15-year payment. All you have to know is going in, and guess what? If you can afford to do this, to make the $2,958.75 payment, what if things get a little rough along the way? You're not stuck with a $2,958 payment. You can drop back to your $1,909.66 anytime you want. Never, ever, 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 ever get a 15-year note. Don't do it. Get a 30-year and pay it off in 7. Now,
Ever.
ever, okay? If you don't know anything about the P.I.L.L method, let's just say you don't know about the P.I.L.L method, okay? Then get your 30-year note, get your 30-year loan, and you can make the 15-year payment just by putting it in a simple amortization schedule like this online, figure out what the 15-year payment would be, and make that. So you don't refinance to a 15-year, don't refinance to a 10-year, just with the loan you have now. Just figure out what the 10-year payment would be and start making it now. And you avoid the fees. Okay, Miss Credit Goddess, are you here today with us? Because I know you're busy talking to folks all the time, but she would tell you the same thing. Miss Credit Goddess, are you in the building? Well, listen, she is awesome. She would tell you the same thing. I got this from her, you know? So listen, if you want to know something about building, business credit or your personal credit, Credit Goddess is the one. Credit Goddess, I was just telling them about 30-year loans versus 15-year loans. And I said, you don't need permission to have a 15-year loan. You can take the 30-year loan and make the 15-year payment. Is that correct?
That is so correct. I were we in the same room when I actually did the example of person A and person B?
No, I was not.
Yeah. I did the person A and person B because I realized many years in this credit industry helping people improve their credit, a lot of people want to get their credit to get that car, to get that house, to get approved for a loan, and that's it. That's all they're thinking about is just getting approved. And I have to mention many, many times it's not about getting approved. It's also about what it's going to cost you to borrow that money
Mhm.
to buy that house, to buy that car, to buy, to start that business. It's all about saving money. But just learning from you, I know you learned from me, but I learned from you as well, that it's all about saving on the interest cost, not the interest rate. So it goes hand in hand. Yes, improve your credit so that way you can get approved and get the best rate and the best term. But it's all about saving overall. And I know a lot of us don't think far ahead unless it's written on paper. And this is why I love sitting in your rooms and seeing the example that you're giving as far as like how to save on interest costs. We actually seeing this in black and white. Instead of speaking it, you're actually showing it. And I hope it clicks to a lot of people. And I know everybody's asking the question, how does this work? And will this work in my situation? Yes, it will. Because at the end of the day, like Don would say, you're actually renting to borrow that money, every single month. And if you guys know how, and I did the calculation, Don,
Yes.
you know how you show in the amortization table?
Mhm.
And in math class, when they say show the work,
Yes.
I actually have the formula in how to show the work.
Come on.
You take the principal and you multiply it by the interest, which gives you the APR. Then you take the APR and you divide it by 12, which would give you the interest. And then you take the interest and subtract it from the monthly payment, and then it will show you what the principal, how much would go towards the principal balance. That's how you do the math. That's how you show the work. And listen, you say you have Asperger. I think I have it too. I ain't get tested, but those numbers pop up. I understand the math. But it's all about saving on interest costs at the end of the day, because that extra money could have went towards a down payment on another house. It could have went in your bank It could have went into some type of investment to make more money, babies. You know, if we just understand that, don't focus on how much it's going to cost me on a monthly basis. If you have the plan written out and you understand what, and you tell your money what to do, because a lot of people don't budget. We don't tell our money what to do. We just do as what it says on paper, but we have to plan it out so we know what to do with our money, so that way it can make more money for us. We have it, we just haven't planned it out. So I'm with you, Don.
Wow, 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 wow. Did you hear that, folks? She said there is a way to configure this thing out, and it is not like what we think. Because right now, I have a $400,000 loan on the screen at 4%. And the bank wants, when you go to sign this loan, when you go to close on this loan, they must disclose to you how much interest, if you keep their money, how much rent you're going to pay on that money. Oh, I mean, interest you're going to pay on that money if you keep it for the entire term. It's going to be $287,477.60. Folks, does that sound like is this number 4% of $400,000? Absolutely not. It is 71.869% of that number. So your 4% loan turns into 71% paid back. So the interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you end up paying. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, folks. So listen, if we want to learn how to beat this thing, all right, we'll learn how to beat this thing. I'm going to go over and show you why lowering the interest rate will put you in at a disadvantage on this loan. So I got 4%, okay? And now they said, well, Don, I can get like 2.8, 2.9. All right, let me show you what happens here. All right, so we're taking a look at this payment, and out of that very first payment, all right, the payment is $1,909.66. This is how it breaks down. $576.33 goes to principal. Look how much goes to interest. $1,333.33. Wow, that's a lot of money. We also have learned that if this is the very first payment here in January, then February's principal payment would be on line 2, $578.25. So here's my question. If I'm in January and I made my payment on time, do I have to wait till February to give the bank an additional $578.25? Do I have to? The answer is no. If I had it, I could give it to the bank in January. If I did give this to the bank in January, I'm paid down to line 2 in January, where I'm paid down to $398,845.42. Okay. If I pay down to there in line 2, guess what? My next mortgage payment for February is actually on line 3 of the schedule. What just happened? Even though my payment is over $1,900, I got rid of one line off my amortization schedule for only $578. And the interest on line 2, the $1,331.41, I never have to pay. I just eliminated over $1,330 worth of interest I never have to pay just by giving the bank that $578.25 early. Now watch this. That's at 4%. I'm going to put the same loan in at 2.9. Okay, putting the same loan in at 2.9 for 360 months. Well, look here, I get a lower payment. Boom. And the interest cost over 30 years is $139,000, not $287,000. All right. So why? So I get a lower payment at the lower interest rate, and I get a lower overall interest cost over 30 years. That's over 30 years. Now remember that, because we're comparing two 30-year loans. But watch what happens when we take a look at the principal payment when you lower the interest rate. Okay.
I'm sorry, Don, you did 260 instead of 360.
Oh, I
for
did.
the
Oh,
term.
shoot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You know, it's so good to have people out there watching to see what we're doing. Here's the new payment. Okay. 1664.92. All right. 1664.92 instead of 1333. Okay. So we have 4% and we got 2.9%. Watch what happens with the 2.9%. I make my very first payment, and on line 2, my principal payment is what? $699. It's almost $700 is my principal payment now. So what did we just find out? At the higher interest rate, I only have to come up with $578 to knock out one line. With the lower interest rate, I have to come up with nearly $700. Watch this. Let's take a look at 1 year, about $7,000 at the higher interest rate, about $7,000 applied to principal knocks out 1 year worth of payments I never have to make. And my next mortgage payment for the next month is actually on line 13 of the schedule. So if I were to give this $7,000 all at one time in January, my new February payment would be on line 13. All right. But at the lower interest rate, $7,000 only takes off 10 months. Folks, can you now see that lowering the interest rate actually makes it harder to pay the loan off early? Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We don't know what we don't know. We just automatically assume that by lowering the interest rate, we put ourselves in a better financial position. It may not be the case. Look at everything that has to do with these loans and then focus on one thing and one thing only. How much is it going to cost me to manage this loan with the choice I make? And make sure you're paying the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible to purchase or acquire that property. And then if you do that, you can take the savings and invest that too. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about getting this information out, especially in this new year. Jared, what else can we talk about this morning?
I know our time is going quickly, but we do have a student loan question, Don, online.
What? We got a student loan question?
We do.
I love student loan questions.
We do. Ayana Brown says, how can you pay off a student loan soon? That was her terminology, soon. And she put in brackets $18,000.
Well, let's take a look at something like this. So I don't have time to put up the whole thing, but let's take a look at a student loan that I helped a student with. He had a student loan of $9,500. Okay, $9,500. Interest rate, it was at 6%. Okay, boom. Interest rate 6%. And he didn't know how long it's going to take him to pay it off. But his payment was $50 a month. So I have it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're new to the room and you want to see this example online, Ms. Kenyatta, please tell them how they can see how we're dealing with this student loan question.
Okay, you guys, what you want to do is go to ice10klive.com and you want to choose between YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook to see this example.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't have $95,000. We have $9,500, about half of what Ayana Brown was asking about. At 6%, how long is it going to take this student to pay off $9,500 at $50 a month? Okay, let me put that back there, $50 a month. We calculate it, it comes up to 601 months. Folks, 601 months is over 50 years. Oh my gosh. Let's look and see what the bank wants on this loan. $9,500. The bank wants $20,550 in interest on this loan for a total paid back of $30,050 over 50 years. That is a total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 216.316%. Not 6%, 216%. Now, let's see what we can do about it. When we break down this loan, when we break down the $50, all right, here's how much goes to principal. And here's how much goes to interest on the first payment. $202.50 goes to principal, while $47.50 goes to interest. If we follow the student loan company or the bank, if we follow their formula, we're just going to pay the $50. And then the next month, our principal payment goes to $2.51, and our interest goes down to $47.49. The interest drops by 1 penny. The next month, it drops by 2 more pennies. The next month, it drops by a penny. The next month after that, it drops by a penny, drops by a penny, drops by 2 pennies. Listen, folks, the bank is charging a ton of money on this thing. And after 1 year, this person will pay this loan down by $30.84. And look how much interest they will pay. $569.16 in interest just to pay the loan down by $30.84. Folks, based on what you learned here today, I know some of you are probably screaming into your computer screens right now is, why didn't he just pay the $30 up front? Just pay his payment and then give the bank an additional $30.84 and be paid down to here in 1 month. Yes, sir, we could do that and save $521.80 in interest. We would be paid down to here for only $47.50 in interest to get to the same place. So what if it's $18,000? Folks, we do the same thing. All we need to do is know what is the interest rate, what is the term, what other loans you have. We plug it all into the opportunity cost calculator, and then we're able to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. All of the debt, if you have a student loan, we're going to throw your car loan in there. We're going to throw your credit cards in there. If you have a mortgage, we're going to throw that in there too, and be done with all of it in 7 to 9 years. All right, Ayana, I hope this has been helpful. And if you want to know more about how this could apply to you, please go to ice10klive.com. Click on Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Fill out the information there. Give us the information about what you have, and let's give you a track to run on so that you can eliminate all of your debt in 7 to 9 years. Not like the bank wanted this one to manage this debt for 50 years just because we had a low payment. I want to tell you right now, folks, that I've met people that have been paying on their student loans for the last 30 years. Not 3, 30. And they owe more now than they did when they graduated. Folks, if you don't want that to happen to you, you better please contact us yesterday so that we can help you out of the situation. The average person on our program pays off their student loans in 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years. Student loans gone. I don't care how big they are. Let us work with you. Let's get rid of those student loans. I hope this has been helpful. And she says, okay, I will. Thank you. All right. Listen, I love to get those thank yous. Any listen, moderators, what's next? I'm loving what I'm doing here. We got.
All right, so we can get one more question in. So if you want to be that lucky person that asks a question that shifts your 2022 financially, raise your hand and come on stage, close mouse and get fed. Otherwise, Don, we have 10 minutes left. We can either go with another example that you want to put on the screen, or we can close the room out. Your call.
All right. Well, listen, if I don't get a question in 5, 4, 3.
All right, Justin.
All
hey,
right.
Don. Hey,
All right.
guys.
All right. Turn hand raising off. This is the last one.
I appreciate the opportunity. Good stuff here today. I was question, so kind of interesting. I'm getting into the lending space, getting licensed as MLO, and of course, speaking on the fiduciary front, and obviously, it's like I don't really care how much my actual broker. I mean, I want employment, and if a broker wants to do well, they obviously need their MLOs to be closing loans. But on the refi front, I heard you guys mention a bit ago that it might not make so much sense, if I was understanding correctly, that people actually refi their house versus just understanding the P.I.L.L method and what they might be able to do on their own to pay down their loan, the original 30-year loan, even if it was, especially if it was even at a higher rate of interest. So just wanted to, I guess trying to formulate my question here is like, does it even make sense on the fiduciary sense to really push refis when actually I might be able to counsel a client that using the P.I.L.L method might actually be a better approach?
Justin, what a great question. There are going to be times, so I don't want people to misunderstand me. There are going to be times when you're going to have to refi, especially in terms of, let's say there's a divorce, to cash somebody out. Let's say there is a death in the family. We're going to have to refi or sell the property to pay some people out. There are times when no matter you're just in a situation, Justin, where the payment you have now is just not cutting it. And what we need to do is refi so that we can just stay in the house. We need that payment lower. Does this make, do we have some really good justification for refinancing?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay.
To definitely get to the nuts and bolts of what their actual situation is. So this is all kind of hypothetical at the moment.
Right. So here's what we're talking about, and we're going to, if a person has to refi, we're going to make you their very best friend. Justin, are you ready? Okay. So
ready.
All right. I'm looking at. I've been using this all day. The $400,000 loan. All right. And let's just say that we can refi this thing. We're going to refi it from down to 3%. Okay. So the average refi, Justin, that I've seen costs somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000. I've seen it as high as $17,000 to refi. Okay. So let's just say that this refi to close this thing out, their closing fees is going to be about $10,000. So we roll that in. So the original loan, $390,000. We roll in the $10,000 fee, which makes it $400,000 at 3%. Okay, so here's what I need everybody to see. Here's where you're going to be the hero. Okay, so let's take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest, folks. To get back down to the $390,000 these folks were at before they refied, they have to pay off the $10,000 closing fees that they rolled into the loan. They're thinking, it's at 3%. I don't have to come out of pocket for it. This is a good deal. But look at how much money they pay off on the loan in the first year. They're still, after the first year, they've paid that loan down by $8,351.24. They haven't even paid off the fee in the first year. Look how much interest they've paid, $11,858.80 on the fee. By the time they paid off the $10,000, Justin, it's going to take them 15 months. They pay off the first $10,000 in 15 months, and they have already paid $14,817.85 interest on a $10,000 loan in 15 months. Can we justify that in any other situation where we would borrow $10,000 for 15 months and say, oh, we're going to pay $14,800 in interest on that loan? You see where we're going with this?
Yeah, and definitely. Yeah, so it's,
So
is it rest more than on the origination fees and kind of,
yeah,
I mean, and what their situation is versus just, it's not so much of a one size fits all for sure.
exactly. So Justin, here's what you could do. You would advise your client to roll the fee into the loan and pay off the first $10,000 in the first month. It knocks 15 months off the loan and it saves them the 14 grand in interest. You are their hero, my man.
Yeah, that's good, man.
And they're telling everybody, listen, Justin just saved me 14 grand on a refi and taught me how to knock off 15 payments on a 30-year loan. Justin, what do you think about that information?
That's really good. Yeah, sorry, I'm just at work, so I'm kind of jumping in off the mute.
Listen.
But yeah, definitely, that's great, man. I definitely that's something to keep in mind, and definitely will be using that.
All right.
To be the hero, and I'll definitely tell them about Don the Pill man.
Listen, man, thank you so very much. And once you show them that, I will show you how you can now also help them to learn how to pay this loan off in 7 to 9 years, and save all of that money on the refinance fees. It is amazing. Instead of paying $24,000 to refi, that's the fee plus the interest, they can get out just a little bit over what the loan, what the fees were just to begin with. They can get out for $10,000 and be done with it. All right. And then put the rest of the loan in the P.I.L.L method and pay it all off at a much reduced interest cost and be done in 7 to 9 years. Listen, we can both be heroes, Justin, working together. Make sure you reach out to us. Tap on ice10klive.com, Justin, or hit me up on the back channel. Let's work together on some of these loans and help some of the people. Jared, back to you. I think it's time for everybody to say their goodbyes. We've got another show in the can, episode 21.
Awesome. So amazing show today, everybody. Really thank everyone for being here. Make sure you click the greenhouse at the top and follow the club. Also make sure you follow Don and click that bell next to the follow button and click the always on icon. Also make sure to follow Kenyatta, CEO, Veronica, Credit Goddess, and Coffee Brown. Your hallway is curated by the people you follow. So by following folks on the stage, you're going to get some amazing rooms and amazing insights on your hallway. All right, so we're going to close out the room with some outros. But before we do, Don, I just would love for you just to give your outro, let people know how they can get in touch with you to find out the month, year, and date they can be debt-free, as well as how they can purchase your Amazon bestselling book.
All right. So listen, folks, contact us at ice10klive.com, ice10klive.com, and then get your savings and earnings report. Fill out your information, and then you can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free. And then we're going to show you what you could do with those interest savings to create generational wealth. Also, on the same link, you can get our book. Once you get the book, we're also going to give you a 10K or digital card to go with each book purchase. And Miss Kenyatta is going to tell you how you can get your 10K or digital card for the book purchase. Kenyatta.
So after you purchase the book, you're going to screenshot that receipt. You're going to go to ice10klive.com. On the left side, it's going to be the second step down. It's going to say step 2. I'm ready. You're going to upload that receipt to there. You're going to let us know what your social outlets are, your phone number, your email. You're going to give us where you want this sent to, digitally, of course. And then you'll have your 10K card delivered to you in an hour or under, valued at $100.
All right, all right. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right, and DJ P Funk came me up with a question in the back channel real quick. So DJ P Funk, what is that question so that Don can quickly address it before we do the outros?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to know if in the interest only scenario, if I took a loan that was like, let's say, a 5-year interest only, does that change? You know, obviously it's going to make the interest rate be a bit higher, but you know, my payments are generally going to be lower, and it looks like from your method, it looks like a much better chance to pay down on the principal more aggressively. So I didn't know whether that's good or bad, or what your suggestions would be.
Well, listen, you just hit the nail right on the head, my brother. You have that lower payment, and now you are in charge of anytime you make the interest only payment, you are in charge with how much money goes to principal. And because your interest only payment is based on the amount of money that you owe, if you put money on principal after you made your interest only payment, let's say you put another $500 on principal, you're going to save interest, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've also adjusted how much money you owe on the loan. If your payment is based on how much you owe on the loan, does your payment go down?
Yeah, the interest payment will go down as well, slightly, but definitely.
So you are in complete control of this thing. And I love the best loan out there is an interest only loan. Just be cognizant of how you can take advantage of that thing and gain equity at 5 times the regular rate for the time that's you in that interest only period. Take advantage of it. Don't just pay the interest, but see how you can save interest cost by leveraging your lazy money that's sitting around doing nothing in your bank accounts. Let's leverage that lazy money. Let's kill interest. Let's gain equity on those interest only loans. How's that sound, P.I.L.L?
Thanks so much for the information. I just I followed you all, and I just purchased the book as well.
All right, all
Good
right, all right.
information.
Thank you so much for that. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right, so we're gonna go from Coffee Brown and up. Let's go with the outros, and then we're gonna let Don get to all of his clients. So Coffee Brown, you're up next.
Hey, dear, I'm with my students.
She's in the matrix.
All right, so as she gets out of the matrix, we're gonna let Credit Guys go next.
Awesome. Great room today, as usual. I'm glad to be here. Anyone that is interested in improving their credit so that way they can get access to funds and apply the method that Don has taught us, because, you know, having good credit is the way, is the key to accessing other people's money. If any of you guys are challenged with your credit, definitely tap in with me. You can go to creditgoddess10k.com. Again, that's creditgoddess10k.com. I offer DIY and done-for-you services on both personal and business credit. So there is no excuse as to why we're not tapping in 2020. So that way we can start building generational wealth, and that starts with you. So if you're thinking about it, if you just don't know what to do, definitely book a consultation with me and let me help you, guide you on what you need to do as far as your first steps in getting started. So that's creditgoddess10k.com. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at yourcreditgoddess.com, the website at yourcreditgoddess. Thanks. Have a good day.
So Credit Goddess, make sure you follow Credit Goddess. All right. Michael Chatterby, I teach that leader as well as a real estate.
There she is. There she is.
Thank you, Jared.
All right, all right. Looks like Veronica might be in a hard place to speak, but definitely click her profile, give her a follow, check her out, check out her Instagram as well. Up next is the Wise CEO.
Hi, everyone. I am so glad to have been here yet another day. I am an executive business coach, corporate strategist, award-winning philanthropist, and international speaker. I'm also a multi-business founder. I've been in the commercial development space more than 20 years, and I truly enjoy sharing business development strategies and helping you leverage every opportunity that you have. I share more about my products and services in the Wise CEO Network because it is copyrighted and trademarked. So if you want to find out more, you got to tap in. Visit wiseceo10x.com if you want to find out more about my services. And I was so glad to join the conversation today. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, John, for the club. And thank you, Jared, for your amazing moderation. Appreciate you.
All right. All right.
Hello, everyone. We appreciate your presence and pray that we've earned the privilege of your time. Again, I am Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. There's a lot that come with me, but all you need to know is that I am passionate about you reaching your generational wealth and passing it on to your generational lineage. So how I do that, because I can find you the deal, fund the deal, and then eliminate the interest costs on that deal. So please tap in with me if you feel like you've gained any benefit at all, and I would love to help you.
Also, make sure you follow Kenyatta, amazing person and also super resourceful and great at what she does. My name is Jared Albritton. If you're on Clubhouse, just click on my bio, check out the replays in my bio. If you find these replays interesting, feel free to give me a follow. I'm just here to add value. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, you can go to my 10K card. It's Jarrett, JARRETT10K.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, and especially Twitter. I'm doing a lot of great stuff on Twitter. And also, I just recently announced I am the diversity partner with 10X Incubator with Grant Cardone. Our goal is to fund 10,000 startups by 2031. And my focus is getting diverse founders the funding and resources to launch their business and to make history and build our community. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you can go to pitch10x.com/diversity. You'll see my landing page, fill out the information with your tech idea. It can even just be a napkin idea. And I will prioritize it to Grant and Jared, and we will get you to where you need to be. With that being said, Don, I'm going to pass you the mic.
Oh, no, you don't, young man.
Oh, yeah. You got to pin that link to the top, my brother.
Come on now. This man just announced something big.
No, this is huge. Come on. And it's on this stage. He announced it on this stage. You better put that thing up there. Miss Veronica, be ready, because after we talk about this, we're coming back to you. So, all right, Jared. So what you've got there is a fabulous idea where you're bringing diversity into tech. And if you have an idea, you can click on this link. And will they, by clicking on this link, Jared, will they give them the instruction on how to submit their idea? And if they submit it and it's accepted, what then happens?
What happens is you go into due diligence phase where we really get into the nitty gritty of the details. And if we find that you have the right solution for an amazing problem and you're the right founder, then we're going to figure out, the move forward plan, how much we need to invest. And then we're going to give you the marketing, the sales, as well as the technology resources to get this idea off the ground. So click the link at the top and fill out the information, and we will get you and your business off the ground. So I'm really excited, what's possible in 2022. And here's the link at the top. So check it out.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Folks, listen, we've come to the end of another show. I want to thank you so very much for your time and your attention. We've learned quite a bit today. There is still a lot more to learn. There is an idea out there that lending is simple. There are simple solutions to simple problems with lending. No, lending is very complicated. It is a high dollar business. The banks make a gazillion dollars by lending. What we want to be able to do is show you how it all works, how you can now learn the rules to the game, cut your interest cost by 75% or more, borrow your money at a discount, and then take the interest savings and make that money make babies. Okay, your money should be making babies, not buying the bank another house. So listen, it's time out for that. What it's time for is learning how all of this works. We've got information online. We got information in a book. We've got information that's here for free 4 times a week. So take advantage and tell all of your friends to join us wherever they are, whatever platform they are. Subscribe, follow, click on, whatever you got to do, and share this information so that that word will get out and you can have a part to play. I want to thank you so very much. Miss Veronica, are you there? Can you give us a quick outro before we get out of here today?
Hold on, she's trying to find the button.
Okay. All right.
Hi, Don. Thank you so much. My name is Veronica Love, and I am an IT and healthcare recruiter based in Houston, Texas. I own my own executive recruiting firm and HR consulting firm, and I'm also a real estate investor. Currently visiting Miami, excited about the P.I.L.L method. We're looking to buy some properties, and we want to use the method to quickly pay off our investment properties. So, and Kenyatta is my business partner. Thank you so much for your time today.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, folks, that's it. That wraps it all up for today. We're going to see you right back here on Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. It's at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Right back here. Listen, we're going to be putting that up. We want to see your face in the place. Invite your family. Invite your friends. We'll be back here Sunday morning. Thank you for showing up today. I'm Don, and I'm done for now. All right, Kurt.